Welcome back to The Grind. In this video, we're going to talk about this lane with Particle Protector and Micro Reflect, which is a lane where you will take damage back from glancing hits, and there's a very high rate of glancing your hits. Now, the way around this is to have multiple disorients placed on the opponent so that you can decrease their ability accuracy, and therefore you will not take damage back. And in order to do that, the best way is to have a champion that has class advantage, because they will have the extra benefit of having the disorients paused for a brief period every time you hit the opponent. So you want to bring in champions with class advantage, and then you have to dex 3 times before you can freely attack into the opponent. And now you can see we have 3 on there, and every time we attack, they do pause, which allows you to maintain them a lot easier. And then every time you dex a special attack or dodge a basic attack, you'll add another one on there. And that's the big advantage of having the class advantage, is that you'll pause them so you can manage them much easier. Another nice thing about this lane is that if you have a disorient or weakness on the opponent, then you'll deal additional 100% burst damage with every hit. So you will be getting some extra damage every time you have a disorient on the opponent. You can use champions like Namor who reflect damage, so if you glance and take damage, you just reflect it back. However, when you glance, you don't deal that much damage in general, and so it doesn't really add up to be very much. It's better to just have the disorients stacked up on the opponent, and most of these opponents have multiple hit easy to evade special attacks, which makes it really easy to maintain and build up those disorients and keep them going throughout the fight. So Namor is a fantastic option for this fight, but really all it takes is any class advantage champion to make this easy. You don't even need the class advantage, but having the ability to pause the disorients makes the fights a lot easier. And as usual, Namor has way overkill once you actually ramp him up. You don't really get into his full damage. Now, I brought Falcon for the Thing fight because he's a good Thing counter. However, because of the disorients and the fact that you're always going to ideally want to have 3 on there to 100% reduce ability accuracy, there really is no need for a counter for Thing, because all you have to do is maintain your stacks of disorient, and if you just have someone with class advantage, like I said, it's going to be a lot easier. So you will be countering Thing just with having the disorients on, and you really do not need to have a specific Thing counter unless there's something about Thing that you find challenging, and a specific champion will help you with that. But any skill champion should do fine as long as they don't rely on specific damage over time debuffs. So overall, this lane is not too challenging. We're going to skip a lot of the footage of these fights because it's just kind of drawn out and not necessary to talk about anything specific. You can really use any champions for this. As long as they have class advantage, it'll be really easy. You just have to make sure that you dex at least once or twice when you notice that your disorient charges are about to fall off. But again, most of the champions, just by the way of their special attacks and evading their hits, you're likely going to be getting all the disorients that you need. And if you have class advantage, they're really not going to fall off that quick, and you'll be able to stack up more than you need. But if you have specific questions, let me know in the comment section below. If you are doing completion, then this is actually probably one of the easier paths for completion if you do not mind having to build up those disorients. But it's kind of hard to beat when you have a flare lane as well, which is pretty easy to get by in addition. So, but overall, I don't know if I use the best champions for this because I didn't really bring Colossus synergy, and I think Nick Fury was great because Nick Fury does some good damage output. He can get through the fights really quick, but you don't really need any specific counters as long as you're not bringing in a champion that incinerates Human Torch, obviously. Then for the most part, you can bring whatever champions you're comfortable playing, whatever champions you have ranked up, and you should be able to get through this lane without too much trouble. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know your thoughts, and I hope to see you in the next video.